Well, guys, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. We need President Trump back in office like yesterday. Because what actually came out from Border Patrol, this should absolutely end Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Now, we know that her and Biden have actually let in something like 15 to 20 million illegal aliens. But folks, we need to react to this Fox News clip because it's not just about the 15 to 20 million illegals that she's actually let in, but it's really about the type of people she's let in. This is horrific news, guys. Kamala Harris actually has let in over 13,000 murderers and over 15,000 criminals convicted of sexual assault. I wish I can say I was making this up, but I'm not. I'm not making this up. Is this the kind of person you actually want leading our country? Because Kamala Harris went down to the border for a photo op, and boy, she actually made a post about it, and it's getting ratioed pretty good. Usually on these government accounts, usually it doesn't get ratioed that bad. Now, this isn't a complete ratio, but this ratio is pretty bad. We cannot let her into the White House, guys. Go out there and vote like your life depends on it, because literally, guys, when you're talking about 13,000 murderers from God knows where, your life can actually be online, folks. Your life really could be online. Let's go ahead and do it, man. Right here. I posted this yesterday on X. You guys can follow me on X at Real John Matrix, 2 X's. I said, we need Trump back now. Because I'm dead serious, folks. This is actually from the ICE deputy director. Look at this, guys. Convicted of homicide. 13,099 illegal aliens. Convicted of sexual assault. 15,811. This is astonishing, man. Let's go ahead and watch this Fox News clip, guys. Here we go.
Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket?
Okay, so these people were actually captured by Border Patrol. They know who they are. They were released into the country, guys.
It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number.
Wow. 425,000 people convicted of crimes. Kamala Harris let these people in. And boy, believe me, it's much worse. It's much worse. These are just the ones that actually know about, folks.
Number. Over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault, and there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating it could hit 8 million by the end of the year. But looking at the numbers on this letter right here, there are currently over 600,000 non-citizens on ICE's non-detained docket who are either convicted, 600,000 non-citizens on this non-detained docket who are roaming the country right now. Of that, 425,000 have already been convicted of crimes. 222,000 are pending crimes. And again, the most serious crimes we just told you about, over 13,000 convicted of homicide, over 15,000 convicted of sexual assault. And honestly, that is not a surprise to hear given these horrible headlines we keep seeing popping up in multiple parts of the country almost every day now of a horrible sexual assault or a murder or another violent felony committed by an illegal alien who is often caught and released from custody. And the jaw dropper here too, guys, is all these numbers we just rattled off, they don't even account for the nearly 2 million gotaways who have crossed our border under the Biden administration. Those almost 2 million gotaways, they were never encountered by DHS. They snuck in. They were never caught by Border Patrol. They were never encountered by ICE. There's no record of them, so they have nothing to do with the numbers I just rattled off to you. These are just the numbers of people that ICE has already encountered, that Border Patrol has encountered, that DHS knows who they are. And we just saw those horrible stories in Nantucket the other day. ICE ran a week-long operation in Nantucket, and in a single operation in a 48-hour span, they arrested 2 Salvadoran illegal aliens who came into the country as gotaways and were arrested for child rape on Nantucket. They got a Brazilian guy who was arrested for sexually assaulting a Nantucket resident, and then a Guatemalan guy who was previously deported who was arrested for sexually assaulting a Nantucket resident. So we keep seeing all these headlines about migrant crime popping up in different cities all over the country. This right here is the first time we have ever seen specific numbers as to who and what ICE is tracking when it comes to convicted criminals who have crossed the border at some point and are either supposed to be deported or are going through their immigration proceedings, but are not in ICE custody right now and are roaming the country. So I'll ping it back to you guys, but some pretty jaw-dropping numbers that we are still going through as we speak right now.
That is astonishing, guys. President Trump was right. President Trump was absolutely right when he said they're not sending the best. In some of these countries like Venezuela, crime is down because their criminals are actually over here, courtesy of Kamala Harris, the border czar. This is the work of your border czar, folks. This is the work of her right here. These numbers right here, that is because of Kamala Harris. Now, folks, after seeing this, no one, 0 Americans should be voting for her. But we definitely know that people will be voting for her. Like I said, it's not going to be a Ronald Reagan type of landslide or Nixon type of landslide. It's not going to happen. This country, man, is fractured big time. And the media, man, really should actually hold Kamala Harris accountable for this. Kamala Harris is a fraud. Now, look here. This is a post that Kamala Harris actually put up. She says, I'm on my way back to Arizona for official briefings on the latest work to secure the southern border and operations to stop the flow of illegal fentanyl into our country. It's a photo op, folks. It is a photo op. Kamala Harris has been in power with Beijing Biden for 4 years. 4 years. Look at this ratio, guys. 22,000 likes to 15,000 comments. The American people are not fooled. Because look at this, guys. Look at this right here. Zhejiang Fleet actually writes this right here, shows this video right here. This has actually been going around for a while now, guys. This really does expose Kamala Harris.
Deportation, up with education, down with deportation, up with education, down with deportation, up with education,
Down with deportations. She is an open borders extremist. She is an open border extremist, folks. We know this. Now, another person here agrees with me on the 20 million. He posts Kamala's border disaster, 20 million plus illegals, 13,999 released murderers, 15,811 released rapists, 425,431 released convicted criminals, 350 released terrorists, 325,000 missing children. She did this and she could fix it right now if she actually cares. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. Now, Tulsi Gabbard also came out and roasted Kamala Harris here. Says, shameless. No other way to describe Kamala Harris's photo op at southern border, promising to secure it after allowing 10 plus million illegal aliens in the past 3.5 years as borders are. A shameless person feels no shame because they have no conscience. That's Kamala Harris. Yeah. Kamala Harris is responsible for these numbers right here, guys. I'm not making this up. This is what Kamala Harris has done. This is her fault. Now, America, are you going to vote for this? This should tank her presidential campaign. This should really tank her presidential campaign. Her record on the border, man. And you know what, to me, guys, I actually haven't told you guys my hierarchy of issues. That border's number one. I was debating on whether or not the economy or the border. The border's number one, man. No doubt about it. When people are losing their lives. Lake and Riley, I talked about the illegal alien that killed a little 12-year-old girl, raped and killed a 12-year-old girl in Pasadena, not far from where I actually live. That's a major problem, man. U.S. citizens are being killed by illegal aliens. And I believe, man, that is the biggest win for Trump there is the illegal immigration. He should be hammering that home. As well as the economy, too. Because we know that some of these states, man, the border issue isn't a top priority for them, mainly because they're not really by the border. But I must shout out Governor Greg Abbott out here in Texas, man. Once he actually started shipping those illegal aliens to New York and Chicago, he brought the border crisis to these blue cities, these sanctuary cities. And the Democrats have been exposed. Now, I'm not saying that Trump is going to win Illinois or New York, but I believe he's actually going to get more votes in those states because they actually got a taste of illegal immigration in those states, in those blue cities, courtesy of Kamala Harris. Absolutely stunning, guys. This should really tank her campaign. And Kamala Harris, man, how can she actually explain this? ICE now has really just tanked her campaign. When you're allowing 13,000 murderers, and I'm willing to bet, man, it's probably closer to like 25,000. I don't know. But it's way more. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.